Hey guys, Bigrat 310s here again, and finally, I can make this video after preparing it for like a good month. Yeah, it's been a long time while I've been trying to do this. Basically, for those who do not know, I do like Japanese wrestling, but I haven't really had the time to see it all this year. So I told myself, whenever I finish a set of DVDs and I have some time on my hands, I'm gonna sit down, formulate a list of all the great matches and all the title matches that I need to see, and I'm gonna watch them all. Now, as I made this list from Japan, it little by little grew as I made it because more stuff was coming out. People were offering me recommendations. So little by little, more stuff was coming out, and there. Oh, sorry, I'm just trying to position it. The light in this room is terrible. Little by little, more the list just kept growing and growing and growing, and it got kind of ridiculous to the point where I had 43 matches on this list. This list has been driving me insane. For those who follow me on Twitter, I do not stop talking about this list with good reason. So many matches that I wanted to see, and now I can say that I'm fully caught up on Puro. I have not seen the New Japan Dominion show. I know that has supposedly the Japan match of the year. Kind of ironic how I'm making that video without seeing that match. But I want to review that show. And quite honestly, I just can't. I can't add any more matches. I'm so tired of constantly having to add matches to the list. I've looked at what Sean Carlton Zero has given over 80%. I've looked at what AMCN1 has given over 4 stars. I've looked at what True Slayer has on his top 10 list. I've looked at a forum I am a part of Japanese wrestling, ProRes.tv forums, I think. I'm not sure. I'm not going to link it because I don't know if the guys want me to link it, but if they do, I'll link it. But in that forum, a bunch of guys comprised their own list, all of the members of a match of the year list. Whenever a match got negative votes, it was voted off the list. So they had this list, and I looked at that list, and I had to start adding more matches. So as you can see, I had quite a lot to see. I think I can close that curtain behind me. I don't think it's necessary. Is that any better? A little. So I finally had this list, and I just, there were also certain title matches I felt I had to see. Not every single title match, that's insane. For Noah, I felt I had to see every Sugiura title defense. I regret that. Every Kotaro Suzuki title defense. Not necessarily the tag titles, because it's kind of a mess. I know Marufuji got hurt, so he and Aoki, he had to vacate the title. And I believe the new champions are Kento and Kanemaru. So I knew that whole situation was a mess, so I didn't even want to invest in that if there's no point in memorizing the reign. And I knew that I had known that the Giant Bernard and Carl Anderson, they were gonna fight Takayama and Sano, and I had a feeling that Bernard and Anderson were gonna win. And once again, with New Japan, they have with Noah, they have in Japan in general, there's a million fucking tournaments. God damn, there's so many tournaments. The best of the Super Juniors, the Super J Cup, the NTV Tag League, the Global Tag League. There's so many ridiculous amounts of tournaments and tournaments and tournaments. And in Noah, they have 2 a year, I believe. Maybe even 3. And I think it's just 2 a year for the tag division. It's just insane. So, look, I want to see Sugiura's defenses because Sugiura was my wrestler of the year last year. And I heard Kotaro Suzuki was having a really good year. For New Japan, I just wanted to see Tanahashi's defenses. Devitt has a lot of... he defended the belt a lot. And a lot of those matches probably I wasn't going to like. And for the tag titles, I guess I probably could have seen Anderson and Bernard's tag title reign, but their reign started like a while ago. Suzuki, his first defense, I believe, was either this year or in December. I could follow his whole reign. Sugiura, I've seen pretty much his whole reign. I don't want to start with Bernard and Anderson because I haven't seen their whole reign. I've seen Tanahashi's whole reign. If there are any other in Dragon Gate, I wanted to see Yoshino's 1 title defense and Mochizuki's title defenses. That's about it. But let's get started on this list. First, we go to Noah. It's not the first match I saw, but the earliest match was a 6-man tag from the first Navigation Tour from January 23rd, 2011. I reviewed their first show from January 15th with the awesome Kenta Takayama match. Then the very next show is the show with this match with Jun Akiyama, Taniguchi, Marufuji versus Sasaki, Nakajima, and Miyahara. This is a very, very entertaining six-man tag. I am not a fan of six-man tags in general. I am not a fan of Noah six-man tags at all. This one was probably one of the better ones I've ever seen. It was just really entertaining, a lot of fun. The crowd was really into it. I was never bored. They told good stories. I really enjoyed it. I can't quite go 4 stars. I want to, but I can't. So I'm just going to have to go 3 3/4. But I put in parentheses 79% because I don't use the percent system because I just can't go that really in-depth on the dot. But this match is so close to 4 stars that I'm giving it 79%. So yeah, that's how I view it, so people can understand where I'm coming from. Next we go to Kotaro Suzuki's title reign. First up, he fought Eddie Edwards in what was an awesome match. A little bit, it kind of dragged a little. I mean, the match was really long. The match was like 30 minutes. And there was just some parts where I just thought, this does not need to happen. This match is going on too long. And it definitely felt that way. There were definitely points in this match that I felt were a little unnecessary. I thought the match went a little too long. Towards the end, I'm just like, they're kind of overdoing it. But I still thought there was enough content in that match for me to think it was awesome. By the way, excuse me if I don't go exactly telling you why I did or didn't like a certain match. I saw 43 fucking matches in the span of 3 weeks. My brain is mentally fried. If I can't remember a match, I'm sorry. But I remember certain bits and pieces. I do remember thinking that I really liked the match, but I thought it went too long. But yeah, I'm sorry if I can't go really back in depth to all these matches. It's impossible. Next we got Kotaro Suzuki versus Genba Hirayanagi. This was a very good match. I thought it was all right. I mean, it was fun. I enjoyed it. Nice. I like. No, that was not in this match. That was in the Tanaka Nagata match with the table spot, I believe. I honestly can't remember anything about this match. I'm sorry. It was. I have 3.5 stars, so that must mean I liked it. Kotaro Suzuki versus Nakajima. I thought this match was fucking awesome. I thought this was what the Kotaro Suzuki Eddie Edwards match could have been if it did not go on too long. I mean, this match focused a lot more on the main spots during the match, and when they hit the main spots at the end of the match, it didn't feel overdone. They paced the match so perfectly that they built to the near falls. The near falls happened, and the crowd was way into the near falls, and you yourself was still into the near falls because of the way they had structured the match throughout the match. The match was awesome. I believe I have it as my number 3. Yes, my number 3 match of the year behind. Actually, I guess it'd be my number 4 once I see Eddie Davey on Go Fight Live. But Martinez Oshini ladder match, Undertaker Triple H, and then that match. Yeah, that match was awesome. I really loved it. One of the better Noah matches I've seen in a while. Then we got Kotaro Suzuki versus Taiji Ishimori. Again, I can't remember shit about this match. 3 3/4. It must have been good for me to give it that rating. Okay, Kotaro Suzuki versus Ricky Marvin. I saw this one recently, and I did not like this match that much. I still thought it was good, but I had a lot of problems with it. A lot of Noah purists have complained about Suzuki selling, because I know there's a lot of people out there who might think that he sold well, but AMC and 1 brought up a good point. True selling, when you are really selling, it should prevent you from hitting certain moves with that injury that you have. You should not be able to hit your move that you would have hit anyways, and then just hold on to your knee. Because then what's the point of working over someone's leg if they can still hit their entire offense like it's no big deal? And I get that. I do think, however, that you can still show fatigue. Like, it is possible, because this is in real life too. I know a lot of people like to say pro wrestling needs to look real. Well, in real life, it is possible to have your knee or your arm hurt, do a move, and then be like in extreme pain afterwards that you did it. It is possible to still do it, and I see many people do it. It's like what they say in it's like Brian Alvarez. I've been listening to some old Brian and Vinny shows, and he was saying how some people were protesting that in Japan a lot of people fall on their heads and they get right back up. And Brian made the point, hey, in MMA there are people that fall on their heads and they get right back up. It happens. I know it seems unrealistic, but it can happen. So I feel that for a match like this, if Suzuki had showed a little more fatigue through his offense, or if his offense later in the match was impaired, like AMC and 1 said, like he could not hit his moves as easily because of the injury, then like Steve Austin and Bret Hart, not the WrestleMania match, a month later, they had a match in April. I think it's called From the Revenge of the Taker pay-per-view. Austin in that match sold he could not hit his offense because of his knee injury, which is what I think what AMC1 was talking about. But I still did not like this match, not for that reason though. I didn't like it because I thought Suzuki got in almost no offense. Marvin controlled the whole match. Suzuki kicked out of a lot of moves, and then at the very end, Suzuki just hit like 3 moves and pinned him. To me, it didn't make a lot of sense. I mean, he had a short burst during the match where he completely no-sold at his knee and just boom, went crazy, hit a bunch of moves, and then Marvin went back to working over his knee, and he was selling and selling and selling, and then, at the end, he just hit a few moves and won. I didn't like the structure of it. I thought there should have been more back and forth towards the end, just a little. It just didn't seem enough for me, so I only gave it 3 stars. I don't know, I just didn't enjoy the match. I thought I would, but I didn't. 3 stars. I mean, it still is good. There's good, but it's not structured properly. And the selling, I already went over that. It didn't bother me that much, but I can see it being a problem. Sugiura versus Giant Bernard. Okay. I know a lot of people really like this match. I know a lot of people Sugiura's best match this year. I'm sorry, this match, I mean, it was good, but it wasn't my cup of tea particularly. For several reasons. I just thought that the match basically, here's what happened. Bernard squashed Sugiura. Squashed him. Sugiura got 0 offense for like 10 minutes. And then Sugiura squashed Bernard for like 8 minutes, and Sugiura won. I've never seen anything like it. It was like 2 one-sided matches. Bernard just destroys Sugiura, and then Sugiura just destroys Bernard, and it's over. That's how it worked. And really, like I said, for me, I need a little more back and forth. I mean, to me, it just doesn't make that sense. How could Sugiura take such a beating for more than half the match? And it's one thing to go back and forth and sell, but it's completely another thing to completely own the other guy for like 5, 6, 7, 8 minutes. It's just unbelievable, and to me, it doesn't work. And I'm sorry, this match wasn't for me. Similar to the Marvin match. I don't know. It was good. I liked it, but I just didn't think it was that great. I know some people who really think this match is great. Sugiura versus Trevor Murdoch. I know some people who fucking hate this match. I liked it. Again, I don't remember a thing about it. I saw this match a long, long time ago. I mean, I saw the Bernard match right before, but I remember the Bernard match because I so clearly identified that problem. After that match, I was like, come on, Sugiura. Like, I was very unhappy with that match, and I remembered it specifically what the problem was. In this match, I didn't really identify anything. I just said, I like that match, and I moved on. I'm sorry, I don't remember the thing. I'm sorry, I'm not going to go rewatch it. I just remember really liking it. Takashi Sugiura versus Minoru Suzuki. I fucking hated this match. I hated this match. I'm going to talk about this a lot on this list. There's quite a few New Japan matches that have this problem. And I think there's another match, maybe from Zero-1 or something, that have this problem. That really freaking bothers me. And that's when you sell for like 10 minutes. A guy's working over your leg, and then you just say fuck it and spend 5 minutes of back and forth. BB Hulk does it in every single one of his matches. He spends 10 minutes selling and then does back and forth with the other guy for like 5 minutes and doesn't even attempt to sell. BB Hulk does some pretty fucking spectacular moves, though. Not saying it makes up for it, but at least, like, I'm like, man, he's not selling, but god damn, it was that shit impressive. For these guys, it's like they just forget the selling just to do it. There was no reason to not sell. They just said, fuck it, I'm not going to do it anymore. I just hate it so much when matches do that. Why would you let me invest myself in this match for 14 minutes in this match if you're just not going to act upon it? I admit, Davey Richards does it too. As much as he's my favorite Ring of Honor wrestler, this is his t-shirt, by the way, I admit, he does it too. But like I said, similar to to Hulk, at least Davey still can manage to get the crowd into his matches and get you yourself into the match. I'm not saying that makes up for it. Trust me, I don't give him a pass when he does it. He doesn't always do it, but especially like in this match, what was the point of not selling? Why? And then they completely switched the direction of the match. Now, many matches have done that in the past. My best example is Kurt Angle versus Samoa Joe from Lockdown 2008, where they were doing this MMA-based match, and they said, you know what, this isn't working, the crowd doesn't like it, let's just do something else. And they went and they had a standard, really good Kurt Angle Samoa Joe match. I get that. I understand why they did that. I have no idea why Sugiura and Suzuki just decided to say, you know what, let's forget about me working over your knee, Sugiura. Let's just exchange strikes for no reason whatsoever for 10 minutes. There was no reason to switch. It's not like the crowd was dead. I mean, sure, they weren't like hot, lively around, but that's because, you know, you need to invest more into the selling. The crowd they just decided, let's just change like that. Instead of me working over your body part, we're just going to strike each other for no reason. Why change? You didn't have to change. There was no need for change. And it didn't make the match any better. In fact, to me, it looked like a complete mess. And that's what I thought about this match. A complete and utter mess. There was no substance to it. The structure was shot to shit to hell. No selling. Everything I hate about pro wrestling was in this match. And the finish sucked too. Where like Sugiura basically was trying to give Suzuki his Olympic slam. And Suzuki just like, I don't know if he deadlifted him or he was selling, but he would not go up for that move. And then Sugiura just hit it, put an arm over him. The ref counted 3 to no reaction. Terrible match. I hated this match. I love Sugiura. Take the title off of him. I do. And it's not his fault. He's run out of opponents. It's simple. He has run the table. He has fought Morishima. He has fought Takayama. He has fought Akiyama. He has fought Go Shiozaki, even though that's probably going to lose the title to. Let's see, I mean, obviously there's more. He fought Goto, I believe. I'm trying to remember all his title defenses, but it's not that easy. You get the point. He's run the gauntlet on this division. So much so that they brought in Giant Bernard, who doesn't even wrestle regularly for the company. I mean, now he might, because now he's the tag champions, but at the time he wasn't. They brought in Trevor Murdoch, who wasn't even in the company. They brought in Minoru Suzuki, who is in New Japan, or All Japan, and now he's in New Japan. Then he also fought Kotaro Suzuki, who's the GHC Junior Heavyweight Champion. And then he fought Dan Mastiff, who I think wrestles for WXW. Then he fought Claudio Castagnoli. And now he fights Shiozaki, and I love Sugiura. I thought last year he had one of the best years in wrestling that any guy's ever had as far as leading a company. But you know what? Take the title off of him. Sorry. But that doesn't, just because he ran out of opponents, that doesn't excuse him and Suzuki having a shitty match. There's no reason. Takayama and Samo versus Akiyama and Saito. This was that same show as the 5-8 show. I thought this match was good, whatever. I didn't think there was that much to it. Now we move on to New Japan. I will say, a lot of people have been crapping on Noah, and I from what I've seen, I can say it's pretty much well-deserved. Hey, what can I say? They had Takayama Kenta, they had Kotaro Suzuki, Taiji Ishimori, they had Kotaro Suzuki, Eddie Edwards. That was it. That's all. That's the only 3 great matches they've had so far this year. And that's not acceptable. I'm sorry. I mean, last year by this point, what did they have? Like 10? 8? To have 3? Come on, son. So next we got New Japan. Lot of matches here. Golden Lovers versus Apollo 55, the rematch from the CMLL Fantastic Mania show, where the Apollo 55 got the rematch from their 10-18 show. I forget what that show was called. Was it Dominion? I don't know. Whatever that show was last October. That was a great match, by the way. This match was really good, but this match went on way too long, too spotty towards the end, and I really did not like the finish. I'll get to it there's another match on here, Bad Intentions versus Takahashi and Naito. But that match was much better, and I'll say why, the finish. I hate finishes where someone does a great move, the guy kicks out, and then the wrestler just picks him up and hits another move and win. What's the point? Why couldn't you just pin him at that first move, get a better reaction from the crowd? What's the point of picking him up and dropping him again? Because it rarely works. The crowd rarely goes for it. I hate it. And in this match, they did that. I forget exactly how. I just remember Apollo 55 hit like a double team move. Omega kicks out, and then they just hit another move and it was over. I mean, it happened in the Bad Intentions match, but that was different. But this match was really good, but it was kind of short, a little too spotty. Whatever. I enjoyed it for the most part. I was really into it. The crowd was really into it. Like I said, I think it's okay to do a bunch of near falls back and forth with some high-end spots as long as you maintain the crowd's interest and you maintain my interest without making it blatantly obvious that it's impossible and unrealistic. And it didn't reach that level for me, but I didn't think the match was great or anything. I still thought it was good. Next, we go to the New Japan the beginning pay-per-view. MVP and Taiji versus Togi Makabe and Tomoaki Honma. I just watched this match because I just wanted to see MVP in New Japan. This was good. MVP was fine. Whatever. Hiroki Goto versus Tetsuya Naito. A really good match. I don't remember what. Again, this is one of those matches where I just don't remember. I'm sorry. I saw it 3 weeks ago, and I've seen so many New Japan matches and wrestling and Japanese wrestling matches. I can't remember. But I remember thinking this was really good, but not great. And I know a lot of people who think it's great. I'm sorry. It's really hard for me. Then the main event of that show, Tanahashi and Kojima. I do remember this match, and I do remember not liking this match that much. I don't know what it was. The structure was kind of off for me. It seemed sort of messy in the middle. I didn't enjoy the match, and I was kind of disappointed because I did really like their Wrestle Kingdom 5 match. So I thought this match was just could have been better. So yeah, 3.5. Then we got to Tanahashi's second defense against Yuji Nagata. I didn't like this match that much either. I mean, I liked it. I thought it was really good, but the selling was a big problem for me. Nagata, he just wasn't selling. I don't know why. He had his knee worked over. He would not sell while he worked over Tanahashi's arm. And then Tanahashi would go back to the knee, he would sell, and then he would not sell as they traded back and forth near falls, and then Tanahashi won eventually. I mean, they did a lot of athletic stuff, and it was a fun match, but the selling was a problem for me. It really prevented me from thinking the match was great. It just, I don't know. At the end of it, I was like, both you guys had a good match, but really, like, there was nothing special. The selling was way off, as you'll see in other Nagata matches. Bad Intentions versus Takahashi and Naito. This was a fucking great match. I love this match. Now, this match had a lot of great near falls. The Bad Intentions are such a great team. Their double team offense really is great. Now, what I really liked about this match was the ending. And I know I complained about this for the Golden Lovers Paul 55 match. Here's how it was different. Bad Intentions, the whole match, have been trying to go for their finisher. I don't know what it's called, but they were trying to go for it. The whole match, they were trying to go for their double team finisher. And finally, at the end, they hit it, and I think it was Takashi or Naito, kicks out. And the crowd goes crazy. They spent the whole match trying to hit this move. They finally hit it, and he kicks out. And it's just like, you can see in their faces, like they explain faces like, what are we going to do? I mean, that was our move. We spent the whole match trying to hit our move. We couldn't hit it. And then Bernard picks him up, hits a move, and wins. And yes, I hate it when they do that. But in this match, because they built to that first near fall, and it was treated like a big deal because everyone thought for sure, oh my god, they've been building to that move the whole match. That must mean it's over. And he kicked out, and the crowd went crazy for it. That was a very good near fall. And this made me think the match was great. If this happened in the Golden Lovers Paul 55 match, I probably would think a little better about that match. But in this match, it was not a detraction at all. If anything, it was an addition. And I thought the whole match was a lot of fun, too. Then we got Tanahashi versus Nakamura. This match, I don't know. I thought it was fun. What can I say? There was some selling gaps, lack of sense for some of Tanahashi's offense towards the end. But like I said, I was into it. The crowd was into it. I was enjoying myself. I didn't see it being overboard, so I didn't really care. I don't know. I thought it was really good. Kind of disappointing though. Masato Tanaka versus Yuji Nagata. This one, I believe it's this one. I mean, these fuckers had 2 fucking matches. I can't remember which one it is. Maybe it's the other one because the other one has such a lower rating. But in one of these 2 matches, there was also lack of selling, where they were selling. It's the problem where they take my time when they work over someone for 10 minutes and then they just say fuck it and move on, and that really bothers me. There was, I think it was in this match, it might have been in the other match, where I believe he was working over Tanaka. Nagata was working over Tanaka, and I kept telling myself, well, he's working over Tanaka, how's Tanaka going to make a comeback without not selling? And Tanaka limped to the top rope and did a splash on Nagata through a table. And I thought that was great. I was like, that's perfect. Diving someone through a table, it does considerable damage to them. So you can do back and forth with them without making the viewer think suspicious of, Jesus Christ, Tanaka really hasn't hit a lot of offense. How could he possibly go back and forth and win it and making sense? Well, he did put Nagata through a fucking table, as opposed to Nagata working over his leg. I thought it worked. I saw that table spot and I was like, yay! Great! But then they just kind of went along the match, and Tanaka just never sold the leg, or Nagata never sold. I can't remember. These guys had 2 matches. one of them didn't sell the leg the rest of the match, and I was just like, come on. And they did, like I said, they did a lot of athletic spots. It was really entertaining, but I can't say anything more than it was really good. You know what? I think it was the 0-1 match, because this match I gave 3 3/4. The 0-1 match I gave 3 1/4. I can't remember. You imagine how hard it is to remember 43 matches, and then factor in that these guys had 2 fucking matches. But their first match, I guess, was really good. Maybe. I don't know. I just don't know. I can't remember. The match that had the table spot, that was a great spot, and then not selling the rest of the match, that pissed me off, and that prevented me from thinking the match was great. Maybe it was the 0-1 match. I don't know. Then we got the best of the Super Juniors matches. These were all really good. The finals I thought was great, but the first 4 matches, they were all, or first 5, they were just, fun 10-minute matches. I didn't really get a lot out of them. The first match was the best one, Hayato versus Kanemoto. They told a good story, and it was a lot of fun, and I enjoyed the match. But like I said, it was short, and I'm not the type of person that thinks a match has to be long. I was saying this, I was going to make a video response to AMC and 1 about this, but I was on vacation, and I had to make the Ring of Honor Best in the World video, so I said, I can wait. About matches going long, I don't think a match has to be long to be a great match. I think that's what he meant by using the word epic, because I know Daniel Talks Pro Wrest said, an epic has to be long. That's the definition of an epic. I think what AMC was trying to say was, can a match be great without being long? I can totally understand that. Or a match being awesome without being long. And I think it can. But in this match, I just didn't think it was. I just thought it was a really good, nice 10-minute match. I mean, it told a great story, but to me, just because a match tells a great story, that doesn't automatically mean I have to give it a great match score if it has a great story. Under certain time limits. I don't know what this match could have done to be 4 stars. I don't know. I just, at the end of it, I saw it. I was like, that was really fun. 3.5. Davey and Prince Devitt. This was good. I guess 3 1/4. Good action. The best part about these matches is these guys can do back and forth spots, and it doesn't seem like overkill because they've only been wrestling for 10 minutes. So it makes sense for these guys to just go crazy, do moves on each other, but they only have 10-minute matches, so the matches don't really go overboard, and it's kind of believable because the matches are only 10 minutes long. Prince Devitt versus Hayato, I guess that was good. I can't remember that one. I think that one was short. Davey and Ibushi, I liked Davey as heel a lot because he can't no-sell when he's a heel. And he did a good job in this match. I enjoyed it, 3.5. Ryusuke Taguchi and Devitt, that was a really short match. I liked the roll-up finish a lot, though. I thought that was a really good finish. Ibushi and Taguchi, I thought that was a great match. Pretty much one of 2 great matches. I think this is my second favorite. It might be my favorite New Japan match of the year. Either that or the Bad Intentions match. This match was great. They traded spots back and forth towards the end, but the spots were really great, and the crowd was going fucking apeshit for this match towards the end, and I was really into it. I was like, oh my god, and the crowd was going crazy. I was going crazy. I really enjoyed it. It never went overboard for me. It went just enough. Taguchi did a good job working over Kota at the beginning. I really liked it, and what I liked about it is he never really worked over a specific part per se, so it wasn't like blatantly obvious that he was no selling. Kota Ibushi, it was kind of like, I've talked about this before, Masato Yoshino and Eddie Kingston do this a lot, where the stories of their matches aren't really that I'm going to work over a specific body part in your body. It's more like, I'm just going to beat you fucking down, and the other guy, the babyface, Eddie Kingston and Yoshino, is just like, take me down. Eddie Kingston had a lot of those matches where these guys just hammer them and they just keep getting back up and showing fire. And Ibushi in this match showed fire. That's why when he kicked out of a 1 count, I know a lot of people would be mad. I wasn't. Because I was like, wow, he really is showing that passion that makes me believe that, he can do it. He can do it. And he's showing the passion of, I will not go down. And it worked for me. And that was a good enough story for me. And the spots were great. And the crowd really liked it. And I was really into it. 4 stars, definitely. I know this isn't everyone's cup of tea. Whatever. So yeah, right now, New Japan, 2 great matches. Behind Noah's 3 great matches. They're not having that great of a year either. Japanese wrestling this year is just whatever. 0-1. Daisuke Sekimoto and Akuda Hidaka had a fucking awesome match. I loved this match. I thought this match was tremendous. To the selling, to the near falls, everything about this match was just awesome. I saw this match. It was great intensity, great action. They kept the selling all the way through. I really liked it. Great match. 4 1/4. Tanaka Nagata. This may be the match of theirs I didn't like. I can't. I'm not even gonna bother. Daisuke Sekimoto and Ryuji Sai. I thought this was good. I just thought it was a little disappointing. Sai as well was not 100% committed on his selling throughout the match, which did kind of bother me. And the match didn't go that long either. Akuda Hidaka versus Ito Takafumi. This was a very different match. Very stiff. A lot of strike exchanges towards the end. You know, I haven't really seen a match. I haven't seen many matches like it. I guess Chris Hero versus Hidaka. But that match was really long, and I didn't really like that match that much. This match, though, it was nice, short, 10 minutes. They told a good story, and I was like, wow, I really enjoyed that. 3.5. Moving on. DDT. Dick Togo and Honda Antonio, or Antonio Honda, had a great match. I loved this match as well. Great action. Great intensity in this match. Damn fucking great intensity in this match. They sold well to a key. This was just a really entertaining match. Didn't go that long. Didn't drag. Everything about it was just crisp. I really liked it. Great match. All Japan. Kaz Hayashi versus Minoru had a great match. A lot of great strike. A lot of great near falls. A lot of great spot exchanges. And some decent selling throughout the match. I just, in my opinion, it went a little bit too much overboard. Towards the end, I was like, this is getting a little ridiculous. But I still thought that it was enough of the match for me to say it was great. I just thought it went like 2-3 minutes too long. Minoru versus Shuji Kondo, I thought was a very good match. I enjoyed it. Don't really remember it, which is kind of weird because I saw the match like a few days ago. Seiya Sanada and Manabu Soya versus Daisuke Sekimoto and Yujiro Kobayashi. AMC 1 told me that Sekimoto and Kobayashi are his co-MVPs of the year, and I can totally see why. These guys are having a fucking great year, as we will get into as we get into their Big Japan stuff. This match was great, as their other matches have been. These guys just work so well together. They're such great big man wrestlers, and they really just manhandle their opponents, and it really like contributes like this great presence for both of them. You kind of get their characters a little bit by seeing them wrestle. That's what most people don't understand. I said this before. It's very easy to show personality through your wrestling style, and I don't think a lot of people realize that. That's why when people say Evan Bourne has no personality, I gotta go like, you really should see him wrestle. In his matches, you can see the type of character that he is. And in all Sekimoto and Kobayashi's matches, you just see this like tough, big man. We're gonna throw you the fuck around. We don't care if you like it. And it's really, really, they show great intensity and great facials. And this match was damn great. I really liked it. Not as much as their two Big Japan matches though. Daisuke Sekimoto, Yujiro Kobayashi, Kawakami versus Sasaki, Ishikawa, and Otani. Again, I'm not a big fan of six-man tags, but this one surprised me. This one was way better than I thought, and I really, really enjoyed it. Wow, gee. Thank you, Chase, for contacting me during my video. Give me 5 minutes. All right. So then we go, like I said, fun six-man tag. I'm just not a big fan of six-mans, but this one really impressed me as well. Not as good as the Noah one, though, in my opinion. Sekimoto and Kobayashi versus Soya and Hama. This was a goddamn great match. A goddamn great match. I love this match. This is my number 9 match of the year, I believe. I love this match. Oh my god, I love this match. This match was just so great. Hama is this really big fat guy. Like, really, really fucking big. And the whole match, like, you know, I've told you about the characters of Sekimoto and Kobayashi and how they're these big, tough, big, manly guys. We're going to toss you around. We don't care if you like it. And in this match, the whole match, they were trying to, like, here comes Hama, a humongous guy. And they spend their whole matches deadlifting, Germaning people, just picking people off the ground and just throwing them. And they couldn't do it with this guy because he's so goddamn big. They spent the whole match, including one spot where Kobayashi went to give Hama a torture rack, and I almost jumped out of my chair. Like, there's no goddamn way he lifts this guy up. And eventually at the end, they both give Hama a double suplex, which maybe for some people is a bit anticlimactic, but for me it's like, hey, they lifted that guy off the ground. I don't care how they did it. And the whole match was just great, and the crowd was really into it. And they, I believe, were the faces in peril towards the end. I think they were the faces in peril in this match. I believe so. I can't remember. I remember the Hama story very well, and I remember the treading near falls very well. But I can't remember. I just remember thinking this match was goddamn awesome. I loved it. My number 9 match of the year. Sekimoto Kobayashi versus Sasaki and Ashikawa. Another great match. Basically, you've heard me talk about Sekimoto and Kobayashi. They've had great matches all year. Not as good as their match against Hama and Soya, but still a damn great match. Great structure. People should realize that Big Japan, I've been really impressed. I mean, look at it. I saw 3 of their matches this year only 3, and they already had the same amount of quality as the New Japan stuff, and I saw like 10 New Japan matches, 11 New Japan matches. The Noah stuff, I saw like 10 Noah matches. Big Japan, I only saw 3, and all 3 were pretty much on the same quality as anything on all 3 of those lists. That says something. I'm gonna give this promotion more of a chance. Dragon Gate also had a good showing in my opinion. Masato Yoshino and Don Fuji was a damn great match. I really, really liked this match. I liked it because it's like a 25-minute match, and when I heard that, I was like, God damn, that's going to go overboard. But they clipped it, so it was only 15, and that worked for the better because they told a story, and usually in Dragon Gate, they tend to forget the story and focus on the high spots. But in this match, because the match was clipped, they could not forget about the story because they didn't clip more of the story. They clipped more of the high spots. So they did their story, then they did the high spots for like 2-3 minutes, and it was over. It was great. They had a great story with Fuji. He worked really well in this match. Yoshino, again, with his mentality of you will not put me down, and then Fuji also had that mentality, you cannot put me down either. And they just had a great exchange. Like I said, it only went 16 minutes. They got all their spots in. It did not go overboard. The crowd was always into it. I was always into it. The near falls were excellent. This match was great. I really liked it. And I know not many people will agree with me. Pac Ricochet, a blatant spot fest. And I like Pac. But this was a blatant 9-minute spot fest. Literally, I have nothing to say. 3 stars. Mochizuki and Yoshino. This was another type of match. It was 25 minutes and it was clipped into 12. Where, again, they got to tell their story without going overboard because the match only went long. Yoshino, I believe, was the heel, controlling the psychology in this match, which was different. Mochizuki sold it. He had great facials. He wanted to win the title. And like I said, they had great near falls, great exchanges back and forth towards the end. And it only went 12 minutes, so it didn't go overboard. There was no way for it to really get out of control. And it was just a really good match. Now we get to the Dead or Alive pay-per-view. I will admit, I did not like this pay-per-view as much as most people. Pac Narukido I thought was good, but went too overboard. I kind of got lost towards the end. Saito and Horiguchi versus Yoshino and Hulk was 12 minutes, but I still thought it went a little too overboard. I thought it was really, really fun. A lot of great athletic spots, but nothing I'm really going to remember for a long time. The main event, Yokozuki and Amato, was a little disappointing. Good selling, but disappointing. It was all selling. There wasn't a lot of high spots, which I know I just complained about how Dragon Gate sometimes abuses the high spots, but I still need to see some of it. There wasn't that much in this match. Not enough for me to really remember it. And maybe if they had a little more of that match, would have been better. Now we get to a goddamn great match. Goddamn great match. Blood Warriors versus Kamikaze. Shingo is my favorite wrestler in Dragon Gate. In my opinion, he's also the best wrestler in Dragon Gate. And when I saw him come out for this match, I was like giddy. Because I haven't seen this guy wrestle since October. This guy's had awesome matches with Davey Richards, Bryan Danielson, BB Hulk's best fucking match last year, and a countless crew of other people. Dragon Kid. I love Shingo. And I was so happy to see him back as a face. Basically, in this match, it's loser revives elimination match. Where basically, once you pin someone, they are eliminated. But once someone on your team pins someone, is someone on team A pins someone on team B, then that person on team B is out. But if in the match a person in team B pins someone in team A, then that person in team A goes out, and the person in team B, one of his back in. Like in dodgeball, when you catch the ball, one of your guys goes back in. In this match, whenever you pin someone, if you have any guys of yours that are eliminated, they get to come back into the match. And I believe also, this might sound confusing, if you go over the top rope, I believe you're also eliminated. I know that one's kind of weird, but whatever. But so there were so many ways to tell so many great stories in this match. The faces eliminate 2 people, and then the heels eliminate 2 people. The heels do something stupid that gets them eliminated, and the faces have a short advantage for a little while. The faces cheat to get the heels out of the match. There's so many interesting stories, but the ending of this match was goddamn awesome. Basically, they threw Cyber Kong over the top rope, and Ricochet pinned Iwasa and Kagetora with a 630 moonsault. So it just left Shingo and all 4 members of Blood Warriors. And Shingo was a goddamn madman. He took a lot of punishment, and he looked like a total badass. Just killing them left and right, surviving the odds, going against the odds when he finally pins Dragon Kid. It's also, if you pin the captain, that's when the match ends. You have to pin the captain or eliminate everybody on a team, which if you do that, you eventually pin the captain. The captain for Blowers was Dragon Kid, for Kamikaze was Shingo. And so Shingo finally, after surviving the odds, after taking an onslaught, triple move beatings, he gets Dragon Kid and pins him after making his own comeback and destroying them. The crowd went crazy for it. Shingo had to be helped to the back. He sold the fact that, hey, I just got my ass kicked by 4 guys. I made it out of there alive. I won, but I'm hurt. Help me. And he had help. He had help walking to the back. He looked exhausted as all hell. Great story. Awesome match. 4 1/4. I really, really like this match. Then finally we have the 2 Joshi matches, women's wrestling. The first one I thought was a lot of fun, a great match, just went a little too overboard. And but I like the back and forth. This match was all back and forth for your information, all back and forth. But it worked. The crowd into it, and I really like the finish. I know a lot of people don't like roll-up finishes, and it kind of seems ironic that a roll-up finish ends the match in like a multiple spot fest match. However, for me, a roll-up finish, like when it comes out of nowhere, it really could, like, you know, it really could, when it comes out of nowhere, be like, hey, all these spots didn't work, so we had to use a roll-up. And it worked. And I thought the roll-up finish at the end of this match went great. It was excellent, and the crowd went crazy for it, too. Because it was like, holy shit, it just ended. It was awesome. I loved it. Great. Also, Yonemaru versus Leon. This was really good. A lot of botches in the beginning. Kind of slow, kind of a bit of a lack of story, but there was a lot of great athletic spots, and, you know, it was fun. It was mild entertainment. I gave it 3 3/4, I believe, maybe 3.5, but nothing I'm going to write home about. So that's my Puro 2000 thoughts. I have all the matches in the description box. If you need help finding some of these matches, almost all of them are available on YouTube. Some of them are not. I'll link to Dragon Gate's website, openthedragongate.com. You can watch the entire Dead or Alive pay-per-view on there, and a few of the... You can watch Masato Yoshino and Don Fuji on there, too. And Mokazuki and Yoshino's not available yet, and Pac Ricochet's not available yet, but it will be soon. Anything else, just ask me, but most of this stuff you can find on YouTube. But yeah, thank you. I'm Bigrat310. Thank you for hearing me ramble on. My neck hurts from standing in this position for so long. I'm out. See you.